Well, after 4 months wait, the keys are here, and more importantly, the car is here. This is it, Vauxhall's new Corsa VXR Nürburgring edition. And wow, in chili orange, it looks stunning. I am so pleased with this car. It's a limited edition, they're only going to make 500 of them, and you can't really miss it, apart from the orange paintwork. It's got various other upgrades compared to standard Corsa VXR. The main ones being the wheels, which are new 10-spoke 18-inch wheels, which look fantastic and really stand out, with Brembo brakes as well. As you can see, if you look at the front wheel, you can actually see the Brembo brakes. They are huge, and wow, they have some stopping power. And at the front, it's got a brand new front splitter, which really finishes it off nicely. I think it's been really popular with people with standard Corsa VXRs that want to do a bit of a modification and put that on. If we whiz around to the back, the main difference, the standard Corsa VXR has a triangular exhaust. You can't miss it. It's quite unique in this in the hot hatch category. Not this one though. This has a brand new massive dual exhaust, which you can't really miss, and it gives a lovely, lovely sound and feel to the car when you're driving it. Really, really good fun. That's it. I'm going to take it for a spin now. I'll tell you a lot more about the car when I'm inside it. We're going to go for a bit of a spin over to Leeds. See you soon. This Corsa VXR Nürburgring is fantastic. I am so pleased with it. It is quick. Beautiful day out. I'm going to go and enjoy it a bit more. I'm stuck behind this blue transit van, doing, well, slower than the speed limit. I thought I'd take a minute just to talk to you about what Vauxhall have actually done to this car compared to a standard Corsa VXR. You're probably thinking, why should I spend £3-4 grand more? You should, trust me. I owned a Corsa VXR before this, the standard one. It feels like a different car, but it's obviously it's the same car, but with a lot of upgrades. You know, the main upgrades is the limited slip diff, which allows it to cleanly put down the power. It's no longer just begging for traction, with the traction light flashing at you, telling you, no, I can't do that, I can't put that 200 brake horsepower, well, 190 brake horsepower down. This has got 205 brake horsepower, and this can put it down thanks to the limited slip diff. So it's a big win on that part. Vauxhall have done fantastically well with that. Also, it's got the Bilstein suspension, the springs and dampers, which has obviously been well collaborated because it works brilliantly. It's not a very hard ride. It's better. I had a Clio 182 with the suspension, the cup suspension pack. That was a very hard ride, a harsh ride on motorways especially. This isn't. This is very composed, very relaxed actually, until you decide to go a little bit faster and put your foot down, and then it becomes an animal. We've also got the Brembo brakes, which are really, really good, really solid, which are 30% lighter than the other brakes, the standard brakes. It's also got forged new 18-inch alloy wheels, which look fantastic, 10-spoke wheels, look brilliant, finish off the car really well. When Vauxhall first released the details of the Corsa VXR Nürburgring edition, or the Berg as the fans like to call it, it got some heat for the price, 22 grand for a Corsa. It's a lot of money, let's be honest, it is a lot of money. But let's remember that most people don't pay that, that's the list price. I know some people have been getting it for, up to 4 grand off the list price, which is pretty impressive. And B, the upgrades alone on this compared to a standard Corsa VXR are probably worth at least 4 grand. Then take into consideration that it's got a remapped ECU, taking the horsepower from 189 to 202, or 205 with 99 RON fuel. And it's much nippier and much more solid and much better put together. You can feel the difference. I mean, I owned the old Corsa VXR, and while it was a great car, it felt like it was lacking something. That was never. People used to say it's not as good as a Clio. It's not as good as a Clio 200 or 197, and you know what? They were probably right. The Renault Sports handle so well. Nothing in the hot hatchback class beats a Renault Sport until now. I can honestly say, I reckon this car, well, it's going to beat the Clios on the straights because it's got the turbo and more horsepower, and it's going to beat it on the corners now because it's got a limited slip diff, it's got a new suspension setup. Vauxhall have spent a long time on this car at the Nürburgring, probably the greatest track in the world, and they've spent a lot of time and hours on it, and it really shows. You know, it does a time at the Nürburgring of 8 minutes 35 seconds, right? That is the same as the Astra VXR, the standard Astra VXR, but that's a 2-litre turbo. So we're heading onto the motorway now. We'll slip into third gear, just see what kind of power it's got. We'll put off in camp. We can do it now, we're on a slip road. 40 miles per hour, 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, that was all in third gear. That is impressive. This is a quick car that can do the straights, it can do the corners, it can do the fuel consumption if you want to go on a long journey. Excuse me, put it in 6th gear, you've got 70 miles per hour, put the cruise control on, you're good to go. You're going to get 40 odd miles to the gallon. You know, 0 to 60 of 6.5 seconds. It's really quite impressive, you know. That beats most of the hot hatches. We're on the M62 now, just cruising along on the way to Leeds. We're going to take a bit of a detour actually and come off and go over the pylons on some of the B roads to really test the car out and see what it can do. When you want to cruise, you can cruise, but when you put your foot down, it just turns into this animal that wants to be driven. Faster, harder, quicker. You know, we're going around about now. We're in third gear. I'm holding on. It is just gripping. Absolutely incredible. This thing wants to move. Wow. Oh. Just fantastic fun, and you can just feel underneath the car, you can feel the suspension, the limiters, that they've all coming together, the tweaks, it's all been rebalanced, all been recalibrated by Vauxhall. Oh, that is incredible, that is amazing. They've recalibrated the ESP system, the traction control, the ABS, it's got the Brembo brakes now, which are 30% lighter, I think 20% or 10% bigger, and it all just comes together to create this package that's unrivaled, really. I don't think there are many cars out there that can, you know, that can keep up with this. If you're talking about hot hatches and hatchbacks, it's handling this very well. We're on a British B road. You're not going to get much more of a test than this. We're doing 80 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour, 70. 60 actually, one single carriageway. We're doing 60 miles per hour, and it's just, you know, with ease. I've not even touched, I don't have to touch the gear stick. 6th gear's got a lot of torque, a lot of power, and it's just a lot of fun. Woo! I can see everybody down there on the M62. I can see it with lorries, with trucks, slow drivers and middle lane hoggers. Why? Don't do that road. Do this road. Do the B road. The national British B road. That's what it's all about. Oh. Talent to sit there for saying no, car, come back in. Do not lose traction. Do not lose the back end. Do not understeer. Do not oversteer. Just keep composed, and it feels like it's on rails when you go into a corner. You tell it where to go and it goes, which is how I think car, I mean, let's be honest, that's how a car should be. You shouldn't tell a car to go left and it's like, I'll go a little bit left but then I'll go a little bit right, and we'll get there somehow. Might kill you in the process, but we'll get there. But no, this car, it goes where you tell it to go, which is so crucial, especially in a hot hatch. You don't want to be doubtful if you can make a corner, or if you're going to understeer, you're going to oversteer. Sorry, I'm just slowing down. We're going into my favourite zone, an average speed camera zone. Great fun, great fun. This car doesn't like them so much, but luckily the cruise control does, so we'll just let the cruise control do the work for a minute. Vauxhall, I salute you. You've done a fantastic job with this car. The Corsa VXR Nürburgring, 22 grand, well spent. Go and buy one before they run out altogether. You won't be buying this one from me anytime